Good afternoon, Afro friends and family. It is March 13th. Thank you for joining us for another edition of Afro News at Noonish. You already know what time it is. It's Monday. It's time to go over some weekend headlines, some things that caught our eye, and some things that are going to be in the paper this week and up online at afro.com. All right, Aria, let's get started with you. Oscar buzz. What went down this weekend? Can you tell us what were some of your favorite moments from the show?
Yes, so this weekend was the 95th Oscars, and it definitely seemed like it was a star-studded event. A lot of people were out. Halle Bailey, she presented an award, and there was a preview done for the upcoming Little Mermaid movie that she's starring in. A lot of people were anticipating Angela Bassett. I swear I know her name. Getting her first Oscar, and unfortunately, it did not happen. It seemed like she got snubbed again, and I just don't understand because she played Biggie's mama and Michael Jackson's mama and Betty Shabazz and the Queen of, like, she's done so many Tina Turner, she's done everything, and y'all ain't giving her no award. Like, please stop playing to Angela Bassett's face. The film Everything Everywhere All at Once swept, though. They got hardly everything. So that was wonderful to see. The directors came up there a couple of times and just every single time seemed to have given really gracious speeches. They were really grateful for the opportunity and for the award. So that was nice to see. So this was my theory, and this is just me. Last year, because Will Smith got up there and acted a fool, they said, we're gonna let y'all come. Awards. Black people, we're not gonna play with you too much. We're not gonna give you no awards because nobody got an award except for the woman who did costume design for Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever, and that was rightfully earned because she always kills it.
Yes, like, costumes were beautiful.
If we wouldn't have given it to her, we would have rioted at dawn. But she won. Like I said, Rihanna performed. I can't remember.
Yes, I saw that. So Aria, you are the person to ask. How did you feel about Rihanna doing her hit song, Lift Me Up?
You know I do not like that song. So with that in mind, I was like, oh, again, how nice. But like, I mean, it's the song of the movie. It was expected. It was a given. So I didn't really spend too much time hating on it. I'm happy to see that we've gotten 2 performances out of Rihanna within a month's time, considering it's been like 7 years since she decided she wanted to even touch a microphone. So I let her be. Brendan Fraser finally won an Oscar for his role in The Whale. Once again, he was another person who gave a very emotional speech. I thought that was beautiful. And then I can't recall who it was that won Actress of the Year, but she was an Asian woman, and it's Women's History Month, and we love to see minority women getting their flowers. So yes.
Her name's Michelle Yeoh, I believe.
Thank you so much. And I didn't want to be the person to say something that wasn't correct, but yes, she won her award, and that was great to see as well.
All right. Well, thank you for that wrap up, Aria. A lot went down at this award show. Thankfully, everyone kept their hands to themselves. So good job. Good job on wrapping it up for us. Thank you. All right, Megan, we're going to go to you next. What do you have for us?
Yeah, so first, I just wanted to highlight something that I have been working on for the Afro this year. I, along with a few other Black-owned newspapers, have been participating in a creatorship series with Deloitte. The series is kind of focused on producing news stories on topics that are significant to Black communities and other communities of color. And my first story in this series is finally out. Along with the other papers that are participating in the series. And it just kind of explores why the homeownership rate, thank you everybody, but why the homeownership rate for African Americans is so low in Baltimore City. I talked with experts from different research organizations, different homeownership companies and things like that. And I looked at some of the things that are preventing Black people from achieving homeownership, as well as, those systemic influences. We talk a little bit about redlining and things like that in the article. But if you go on the AFRO'e's website, you'll see the stories from that series, which is actually called The Exchange. It's on the sidebar of our website. And you can also see the stories from the other papers that are participating kind of in this partnership. And then the second thing that I wanted to share This week, the leadership of Baltimore County is hosting its women's event, and it's going to be focused on helping women to rebalance, rediscover, and reinvent themselves. Leadership of Baltimore County really just exists to bring together local leaders, whether that's in a business space, a community space, to see how they can support civic change and just better communities' lives and things like that. But for this specific event, they're holding it kind of in response to the pandemic because they saw how many women left the workforce during the pandemic, especially if they had children at home, especially if they had aging parents that they had to take care of. And because women, mainly handle household responsibilities, they weren't able to take care of themselves. So leadership of Baltimore County is trying to host this event so we can figure out how we can better support women, not just in the workplace, but at home, in our communities. And it's going to be held on Thursday from 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. at Becko Towers in Owings Mills, Maryland. And it's going to feature speakers including Janet Curie from Bank of America Greater Maryland and Heather Iliff of Maryland Nonprofits. They're really just going to be hosting an informal discussion surrounding how we can better support women. So it's going to be audience participation, very engaging. If you have time this week, you can go check it out.
Thank you for that, Megan. And I will jump in here. All throughout the month of March, we will be recognizing and highlighting women in line with Women's History Month. But in this edition of the paper that's coming out this week, it's going to be a special edition highlighting Black women, all of their contributions. And we're talking about contributions in education, contributions in the medical field. We're talking about women who are on the ground doing the work right now. We're also going to have a special page on the women of Black press. So we're going to be talking about the women who have paved the way for everyone on this call and all of the women who lead the AFRO'e right now in 2023. We'll be talking about Allison Dunnigan, the first Black female White House correspondent. We have a little bit of information about Mary Ann Shadd, who in 1853 became the first African-American woman to also hold the title of publisher. There's a page on Black church mothers, because we know that, there are women who go into the corporate world and, make all of these changes for women on the business side and in entrepreneurship. We have all these Black women doing amazing, innovative things, but then we also have the Black women in the community. And we thought at the AFRO'e that it was important to talk about those traditional roles that women take. And the church mother is absolutely one of those roles. I don't know about y'all. I was raised Kojic, so there are plenty of church mothers in my background that kept me in line, had a little lap cloth if your dress was too short and mints for you. So all of that, it's Black culture, and we want to highlight all the contributions of women at home, in church, in schools, in the workplace. So if you have some women that you know of that should be honored in this week's special edition, please shoot us an email. You can email editor@afro.com. You can hit us up on social media. Let us know, who are those influential women in your life. All right, so we'll go to another influential woman, Miss Tashi McQueen, making moves in Annapolis in the political realm. What do you have for us, Tashi?
So on this week, on the note of housing, last week I was able to attend a few events following Build and how they're supporting bills in Annapolis that will make it easier for the city to access more of the vacant houses that they currently are waiting on, because it's still being technically owned, although the buildings are not being operated. So yes. And so for this week, in lieu of that, we'll have articles about what the city is doing for the vacant housing crisis, which is now at about 15,000 vacant properties, according to the Department of Housing and Community Development. Though the number of vacant homes appears to be decreasing, there are still about 21,000 vacant lots and 34,000 properties at risk of vacancy, according to the local organization Build, altogether making it about 70,000 properties that the city needs to invest in. An article we'll have this week will feature the proposed Land Bank Authority of Baltimore City, which was something that was tried by former Mayor Sheila Dixon in 2009, but was shot down by the City Council. And it is something that Councilwoman Odette Ramos and Councilmember James Torrance is heading and will be introducing today, actually. So hopefully we'll see, we can follow that through and see what happens there. And we will be having plenty more articles focusing on vacant housing in Baltimore City. So make sure to go to afro.com to check out what we've already done and what we will be doing.
All right, Tashi, and you'll be highlighting some women in Annapolis for this special edition, right?
Yes, I will be. I will be speaking with Senator Mary Washington, Delegate Addison, and I can't remember her name right now, but one more delegate that is very, very important, and just highlighting their paths and the history that they've already made and the history that they will be making. So yes.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies. This is beautiful. I'm excited to give the women their flowers. As you said, Aria, I'm excited to see all of the work that women are doing. And it's really innovative work. Women are really getting in there and making moves, making change for the community, not just the Black community, but communities across the nation, all races, all creeds. So it's really interesting to see everything that's happening right now in 2023 as we look back at all the women who have paved the way. All right, so thank you, ladies. I am excited about this week. Again, you can follow us on social media, Facebook, IG, Twitter, all the social media platforms. Afro News is there. Make sure you tell us this week, who are some influential women in your life?